Welcome back to another setup. And what we're setting up is this Jackson Pro Series Rhoads RR3. It's just like pretty much a brand new guitar. Out of the box. Nothing's been done to it prior to this. So let's see what happens. Okay, as simple as turning these two Allens down. Look at it now. Wicked! And really, nobody played this. These aren't even tight. They're loose. So somebody might have dabbled, but they were too scared. You could see it's got all the original strings on it. One thing about guitars, they almost always have that many wraps when it's new. And I don't see a point in changing the strings. I'm just gonna make sure it's intonated. And another thing that you want to do is make sure that the Floyd is level. So it's a little bit up in the back. It's pretty good. Maybe that is pretty level. That looks pretty good. I'm going to check the intonation, and hopefully they did a good job and I won't have to do it. That would be wicked awesome. The intonation is spot on. Perfect intonation. Cool. Well, that bridge is flush with the body. Awesome. Don't have to mess with that. Okay, I'm just going to, these were loose, and I'm just going to snug them a little bit, not go like real tight or anything. Don't want to be stripping those suckers out. Just tighten them a little bit. Don't want them to get loose in shipping either. Wow, this is impressive. All I had to do was lower the action. The intonation was perfect. Didn't have to mess with the springs. It's level. Wow. The fret job is like one of the best fret jobs I've ever worked on. In fact, I got to get this out and put this guitar on it. This is high frets. In fact, I'm going to go back over it and measure how high the frets are. Now, because I want to put it on my list. So, the old fret rocker found 6 high frets. And calling them high is ridiculous because this 0.02 of an inch feeler gauge had no chance of fitting in there. I mean, when you hear rocking sound, like light rocking sound, it's not much. It has to be at least, where are we? At least 0.02 of an inch or more to affect the action. If it was 2,000, if a 2,000 just fit in, you really wouldn't have to worry about it. But anything over that, you know, I'm pretty fussy. I do it. So you got to consider too how. I want to show you just what this means. Just fit in, you really wouldn't have to worry about it. But anything over that, you know, I'm pretty fussy. I do it. So you got to consider too how. I want to show you just what this means. They're not even this thick. It just about disappears. Watch it on the wood. It'll just about disappear. That's how thin. Why wouldn't it disappear in the blue? Let's try the blue again. Yeah, the blue shows it. Shows it a lot better. That's crazy. Just how about white? Does white show it? Almost disappears on the white. Anyway, this is awesome. Now, I wrote down on my list $1,369, 6 all under 2. Now look at these Fenders. These were, here's a 2024. And what was that? What year was this one I just sold? Both under 2,000. Only had 2. And then this one, Teleplayer HH 2024, which I have for sale. It had 10, only 1 above 2. There was one that was 3. That's pretty awesome. And here we have a couple of Fenders, both 25s, a Jag Player 2, and a Teleplayer 2 modified. See the prices of them? 6, and this one had 3, all under 2. So to me, it seems like Fender is getting a lot better, because when you look at some of the older ones, I mean, look at this one. This is a Fender Player Plus Precision. When it first came out, it was $1,200. 8. One is 5 and one is 6. Highest so far. Well, no, because this guy yesterday had one that was 8. And you know, once you take care of them, it really doesn't matter. But to have it come like that is a bummer. So I can't think of anything else to do to this. This is stinking perfect. Perfect. Very impressed. When you can't cram that under a fret that rocks a little bit, you know that's pretty awesome. But there's the slightest little bit of rough edges. I'm going to do those. I'm going to take care of those. This next too perfect to not do that. One of the volumes is loose, so hey, I'll have something to do. Got the plastic on everything still. It's at 2025. Yeah, impressive fret job. Okay, give me something to lift this up. There we go. We'll tighten that up and we will be good. Well, I did find an issue. Stripped. So I'm going to fix that. So the way I fix this, I've got 3 different size dowels, and certainly not going to be that one. It's going to be my bigger size. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to find a drill bit that's the same size as the dowel. 5.1. 5.1. Wow, right on the money. Okay. So I'm going to take this drill bit, drill into this beautiful guitar a little bit, then glue a piece of the dowel in. And there it is. We'll let it dry a little bit, and we'll drill a new hole in, and we'll reinstall it. That's the only thing I found on this guitar. Huh. And probably some other guys would have put some 5-minute epoxy in there and just thrown it back. Yeah, I'm not like other guys. No way. Either do it right or don't do it at all. Okay, so I'm just gonna get that started, and then I will drill the holes. Bada bing, bada bang. Are you ready for some sick numbers? Well, the nut is 15,000. The fret height is 53,000. They probably started out at 55, I would imagine. It could have been 57s or something, but they're 53,000s. The relief at the 9th fret, holding down the 1st fret and holding down the last fret, is 1/1000th of an inch. Wow. Okay, the action at the 12th fret, check this out. 31/1000th of an inch. 31. Gibson recommends 47. This one's 31. And it doesn't choke out. I went up the neck bending. That's wicked. The 6th string is 37/1000ths of an inch. That's it. That's all. Gibson recommends 78. This thing is, oh man, whoever gets this, I hope they can play like Marty Friedman or Paul Gilbert, because this guitar is wicked. It's just wicked. Wow, I'm just so impressed. See, it doesn't really matter where a guitar is made. It matters who puts it together, who builds it. You know, I've never been a snob for, you know, it's like one of the worst slogans I've ever heard is only a Gibson is good enough. I think that's silly. Some people actually believe that. But anyway, it looks like Fender is picking up their bootstraps and doing better fret jobs, and I'm really happy about that. And my idea, if you were, I think I said this yesterday in a video when I was working on this beauty, when they put in the frets at the factory, why can't there be one big long call that just goes over all the frets, and it's under hydraulic force, and it's like, I got to make the sound, and it stays on for like a minute, and it squeezes all the frets down all at once, and even pressure for a minute. I bet that would really end a lot of high fret issues. But I mean, they must be doing something, because those last few Fenders on there were really good when they're all under 2,000. That's why I've got best Fender. Man, so cool. I think that wraps it up. Everything's done. It's ready to go. Pretty sweet. I know a lot of people they're a little nervous about a Floyd, but you can always put a tiny little piece of wood in the back, so it always comes back to level, but it can only go down. If you do that, I mean, these are great guitars, especially gigging, because you won't be tuning much. You can play through a whole set without tuning, and, you know, letting the strings hit the pickups with the magnetic pull. Anyway, I think that's it for me. So thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. I do. If you want to hit a like or subscribe, I appreciate that even more. That'd be great. Yeah, this is impressive. Anyway, this is my time to